Hey, what's up, Red Dirt Outdoors? This is Kerry Van Arsdale, and I was going through some of my gun review videos, and I realized that I forgot to do my 1911, which to me is kind of a staple for a collection. So I wanted to be able to share that with you today. This is my Taurus 1911. I picked this up used at a pawn shop. It's got a ProTech flashlight on it. It's just a cheap flashlight that I already had and burns battery faster than what it's worth, but I thought it made it look a little bit better, and this is my bump in the night firearm, so I do want to have a flashlight on there. This is a 10 round high capacity magazine for the 1911. It came with one of those and then 3 other magazines that are the regular capacity. For those of you who want to see, this is clear, and with the 1911, I mean, you can just feel the weight that's behind it. It's higher quality to me. Are there more expensive 1911s out there? Yes, there's Colt, there's Kimber, there's Sig, there's Springfield. And typically, if you watch the channel, you know that I like Springfield. I've got the XD and the XDS. I'll probably end up with more. I just like the way they do firearms. But this was a cool Taurus, I thought. It's got Punisher grips. It's got the Taurus logo on the grip there. It's got the Cerakoted slide. I didn't have the Cerakoted, it was already done, but I liked the flat dark earth with a little bit darker tan. It's not really an OD green, but just the American flag look on it I thought was cool. And then it's got really nice sights. I can't remember the brand of sights they are, but I believe they're Trigicon. It's whatever the factory sights are with the Taurus 1911s. It's got a trigger. This is not a double action semi-automatic handgun. This is a semi-automatic handgun, but the hammer has to be back for this to go off. So that's going to get me into kind of like what's different about the 1911 from a lot of the other things you have out there, like Glocks, Springfield XDs. With a 1911, you've got multiple safeties. This means that you carry it cock lock. So if there's one in the chamber, this is how you carry it. For some people that looks aggressive, but that's functional. If you don't carry it cock lock, there's no point in carrying it. And I know some police departments that don't let their officers carry 1911s anymore because it looks aggressive. When I lived in DFW area, Bedford still carried 1911s cock lock because their chief that they had at the time was very SWAT mindset. This cock lock's safety is ambidextrous, and that's good for right or left-handed shooters. The slide release is right here, and it's what it is. It will send the slide forward if that's how you want to chamber around. Some people will have it back. They'll have the magazine in. They'll pull back on that, which releases it when they change mags, and it will go forward. That's going to be a matter of training and personal preference on whether you do that or not. This is the mag release. So I'm not going to chamber, but that releases the magazine. The other part of the safety on this, other than your finger is always your first safety. When you're not firing, your finger should be here. When you are firing, your finger goes here. That's gun safety. But this is a grip safety. Like you've seen on the XD video, the XDS video, this has to be depressed for this to go off. So I'm not gonna the hammer's not gonna fall just by me doing this. I have to push in on the grip safety and pull the trigger for that to go off. Now with Taurus, they've done something else that's an additional safety. So If you have kids in the house and you don't want to have it cock lock when it's in your drawer, so that's not what you want. Right here, that little hole looking thing, that is a locking feature. They come with what looks like a little bitty Allen wrench with a hole in it. You set that in on the hammer and turn it, and it will literally bring this up a little bit where you can actually see if it's on or not. And it disables the firearm. You can't pull the hammer back, you can't do anything with it other than take the magazine in and out. It will not fire, and that is just an additional safety feature for if you want to have it loaded in the house and you want to just have a little more peace of mind without having to put a trigger lock on it. So you want to fire it, you put the key back in, you turn it, your firearm is now ready to use. I personally don't use that feature. I lock my stuff in a safe when necessary, and to me that's as much disabling as I want to have, because if there is an intruder, I want to be able to respond to that threat quickly. But this is the Taurus 1911. It's been very accurate firearm. I may do some more videos out at the range and bring this one along, but if you've never fired a 1911, they're definitely worth looking into, because the trigger pull is going to be different than what you're used to if you're a Glock guy or a Smith & Wesson M&P guy, any of those that are striker fire. This is going to be different. And your double action guys, this is going to feel different. And it's not polymer. I mean, this is all metal. You can feel it in your hand. This weighs a lot more than an all polymer firearm, and I enjoy it. It's been fun to shoot, and there's a reason why they're still so popular. 1911 means that it was first put out in 1911. The prototypes came before that, and there's been very little done on the overall design of the firearm since then. This was the primary issued firearm for the United States military. It served in World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and I think right before Desert Storm is when they started switching to the Beretta. I have a police officer friend of mine that's a sergeant, was in the Marine Corps when they actually made the major switch where a majority of the military went to Beretta, but there are still military groups using a 1911 active duty service today. Marine Force Recon, last time I checked, was using a 1911, and that just shows you, I mean, they get to pick pretty much the firearm they want for their unit, and they're going with a 1911. It's a .45 caliber bullet. You get less bullets, but there's something about it that just still makes it night and day different from other handguns that I've shot. Appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that button, and if you haven't hit the notification button, you're going to want to do that too, so that you know when new videos come out. Like the video, share the video, and if you have questions, put them down in the comments below. We've grown more, just about doubled in size from this time last year, and that's due to, you know, viewers sharing the videos and telling their friends about it. And, you know, I really appreciate the help that y'all been giving, and, you know, I'm going to continue to try and do more gun reviews. Whenever I get something in my hands, I'm going to do a review on it, whether it's one I borrowed from somebody or purchased myself, and try and keep those rolling. I'm going to be doing a Second Amendment series very soon. Uh, this last school year, I taught Texas and U.S. history, where I actually went over the Bill of Rights, and we spent a whole week on the Second Amendment because with all of the war that's being done against firearms in the media, I wanted the students to know that there are biases out there. There are people debating things that really shouldn't be debated, because facts are facts, and words can only be defined a certain way. You can't make something up just to suit your own agenda. So we spend a week really dissecting what it is and what the arguments are about. So I wanted to bring that into the YouTube channel for you guys. So make sure you come back for that and enjoy the rest of your summer. And I appreciate you again for watching Red Dirt Outdoorsman.